Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Girl versus Monster. It's a pretty self-explanatory title, but are you looking at the picture here? Remind you of anything? Yeah, it's it's trying to be Disney Buffy. Yeah, even though Disney now technically owns Buffy, through a roundabout way of purchasing 20th Century Fox. Yeah, uh, this was made in 2012. Let's see. Yeah, it's an hour and 29 minutes. And stars Olivia Holt, which, if you watched any superhero TV recently, let's see, that was also owned by Disney on Freeform. This is Dagger from Cloak and Dagger. Tandy Bowen, I believe her name was. I know my comic book stuff. Anyway, yeah, Olivia Holt most recently played Dagger on the Cloak and Dagger series. But here she is Buffy in a sense. Not literally Buffy. It is... This movie does feel like it's a pilot for a series that... maybe they did make a series, I don't know. But it feels like they were gunning to make this one. But yeah, it didn't happen as far as I can tell. She became Dagger many years later. This is, again, it's 8 years. 8 years ago this came out. There's so many Buffy similarities. It's incredible. The things that are not similar is the fact that she's not the chosen one necessarily. She is, however, a descendant of the fifth in line, 5 generations of monster hunters. Her mom and her dad are secretly monster hunters. She doesn't know this. She only ever finds out on her 16th birthday, which, again, Buffy's birthdays were never pleasant affairs. She learns a lot about herself during those times. But in this case, she has 2 best friends. Let's see, a nerdy, mousy, super smart female friend, Willow, a average kid with his own fears kind of guy, who's very much a Xander, and they fulfill those exact roles. It's honestly, it's taking the Buffy template and saying, okay, we're gonna make this Disney level. It's free. I'm gonna be cruel now, isn't it? It's free from sexual tension. It's free from humor most of the time. Yeah, it's free from pretty much humor, a lot of humor. It's free from good writing. It's bad dialogue, just really bad dialogue. The actors, the kids here are great. There's nothing. It's not their fault. It's just the villains are super cheesy. Yes, just like Buffy villains in many cases, they're kind of funny at times. But this is literally just, I don't know. They're just not funny. They attempt to be. They're not. The only thing I found remotely amusing was the Dimatra or Dimata or whatever her name is, the main villain. She's a monster that lives off of people's fears, and that's what all the monsters are. They all live off of people's fears. They take the form of those people's fears, and sometimes they can overtake the bodies of certain people based on how much fear they have in them. But when she's first brought back after 15 years, by the way, she's the embodiment of all of the main character's fears, and I can't remember her name whatsoever. Skylar. She's the embodiment of Skylar's fears, and so when she was locked away by her parents. Skylar has grown up without fear. Her entire life, she's been bold, she's been brave, she's been able to do all sorts of things that most kids just wince at. She gets on stage and is confidently singing in a rock band with the boy she likes and who probably likes her, but she won't admit it. And yeah, there's a banner that's out of place, and they're setting up for the Halloween party, and she decides that, hey, I can fix that by getting a lift up from a friend while she runs at him, and then flips into the air and pulls the banner down slightly, and then rolls and lands because she's a gymnast. And if that wasn't a very Buffy thing, I mean, not the whole weirdness, but Buffy is, you know, the chosen one, has abilities and powers that makes her more agile. This girl is just, I went to gymnastics class for 6.5 years. So, getting back to the villain, the part that I thought was funny, one of the things she was asking about, she starts going down a list of things. It's like, is Stephen King still writing? And then, like, the other ghost creatures that are with her, or the monster creatures that are with her, are sort of like, yeah, but the last thing he did was historical fiction. Was it scary historical fiction? And they're like, no, not really. And so, yeah, which I think they're talking about the book about JFK's assassination, time travel, and stuff like that. Yeah, I forget the date. It's named after a date, 11 something. But anyway, yeah. So she starts going down the list. Do they make scary movies? Yeah, but they're more into teen raunch and stuff like that. It's like, okay, that's her gauge on scary from 15 years ago. So of course, once something goes wrong, and she discovers that her parents are monster hunters, and that she finds this out when she decides to sneak out of the house, only by shutting down the power so as not to trip off the alarms, because her parents are pretty much very overprotective about her on Halloween, especially because that's when the monsters come out. And she shuts it down. Unfortunately, shuts down the grid that holds the monsters, which is very much a Ghostbusters thing too. There's a huge Ghostbusters element, because not only do they zap the monsters, they then put them in traps, and then they take them to a containment thing in their basement. So once she turns off the power, just like in Ghostbusters, ghosts all start escaping. And I have to tell you, when it comes to the special effects in this, you know how Buffy season 1, maybe had the biggest budget, didn't really have the biggest budget for special effects, and they weren't super great. Imagine going back about 10 years and they're that much worse in this movie. So it feels like, yeah. By the way, this it did come out 15 years from the time that Buffy came out. So I don't know if that's accidental. That seems intentional. But I mean, the girl had to be 15 or almost 16, blah, blah, blah. But still, yeah. I don't think it's a mistake that there's tons of Buffy references. Even if you look at some of the artwork, like here we got the dress with the leather jacket. That's a Buffy thing. That's prom night, season 1. Come on. All she needs to be doing is holding a crossbow at this point. Of course, also the thing that is different, they're all using like steampunk weapons, and there's a reference. The guy explains to them, who gives them out. He's like the assistant. He's a comic relief who just says the wacky, funny thing to undercut the moment when it comes to the parents being serious. When he arms the children to fight monsters, he says, "Yeah, these are from your grandpa, and they're all like steampunk things." They're like, "What's steampunk?" He's like, this is what you get for not enjoying speculative fiction." Stuff like that. That's okay. Every once in a while he had a funny line, but for the most part, the dialogue was absolutely awful. The music, not great. Was music really that bad just 8 years ago? Really? I mean, because I don't know. Overall, the movie is not the worst thing I've ever seen on Disney Plus. It has a few redeeming moments. I kind of like what they did with the camera on the rooftop set. It's a set. They're not actually on a roof, okay? They're on a set where the final battle takes place, and they do some really cool angles to shoot Skylar, as she's battling the bad guy, as she's superhero crouched on the rooftop trying to save her parents. Spoilers. And by the way, her parents, what passes for dialogue is them ad-libbing arguments, which is something we've seen in other Disney movies recently, and I can't remember which one. It might even have the same parents for all I know. But yeah, these people are not good at arguing. It's really lame. Anyway, the final scene, the final battle, which feels like an overly long boss battle from a video game. Like, you know, that time when you're like playing Legend of Zelda and you've just got this boss, you can't really, you know, there's certain things you have to shoot, but you just get so close to the end and you just miss that final like lit up gem on the creature's belly that you can't really hit right. Then you have to start all over again. This feels like you're fighting the boss battle that just takes way too long with bad special effects. They try to cover it up by making all the monsters move around in cloudy things, but when they superimpose faces over other faces, it's just god awful. Yeah, I can't really say much good about the special effects. Sorry, guys. I know there's people who probably worked really hard on that, but no. It's 2000. It was 2012 when this came out. There's no excuse to have special effects from 1992. No. All right. Well, yeah. So, Girl versus Monster. It looked like a pilot type of movie that never got a series, from as far as I know, unless they have it under a different name on Disney Plus. But yeah, that's Girl versus Monster. If you are missing Buffy, and you are willing to eat just about anything, consume just about anything that is Buffy-like, then Girl vs. Monster might satisfy that. That is, it looks and smells like Buffy, but it's not. I think you'd be very disappointed if you're expecting it to be like Buffy. But if you're just looking for a goofy, fun time where singing in a graveyard to not plugged in instruments and no viable sense of amplification for your voice somehow saves the day, this is a movie for you. Sorry. All right, let's pick tomorrow's. 583. That's the territory, I think. 583. Oh, we had that already. Let's see what it is. 583. It's definitely in the sections. The Chronicles of Narnia. Prince Caspian. Yeah, we had that. Ooh, day 27, way back. All right, let's pick another number. 542. That's a little bit earlier. 542. Oh, we had that one too. See? Right above Tangled the series, we had Tangled Before Ever After. Yeah, okay. We're not having good luck here. Sorry, this is taking so long. But you gotta keep me honest here. I'm not just gonna pick some whatever I want. It's gotta be random. 10. Okay. Wait, did it? What? It was okay within 768. All right. I always wonder if it tries to reset itself to just 1 to 100, which is the default. Come on, 10. Come on, all the way. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is actually the lowest number we've ever had. The previous lowest number was number 11, which was A Ring of Endless Light, which was not good. Girl vs. Monster was better than that. This is A Kid in King Arthur's Court. A Kid in King Arthur's Court. I think that might be considered a classic to some, at least. We'll have to check it out. We'll see. I don't think I've ever seen it. If I have, it's been erased from my mind. It's been a long time. So let's check it out on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.